Welcome to the first edition of the Morning Shoot Around. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. With me, Dave DuFour, Baraheni. The purpose of this is, one, we hope that we have listeners join in the chat so that we can talk to you guys, answer any questions that you have. The other purpose of this is this show is short. It's a short one, and I want to give you guys just space to breathe, like explore the studio space a little bit, because a lot of times it's regimented, like we've got to get this much information in. How are we going to do this in 20 to 25 minutes? Yeah. Sometimes it feels like an impossible task, and it leaves room for me to ask questions like this. I got an email this morning that was gave me some data that I was not aware of that existed. They ran every coach's face through an AI tool to determine who is the most handsome NBA coach.
Ooh.
And so I want to see if you guys can name the top. Give me the top five. We're going to do top and bottom five most handsome and least handsome guys.
Oh, man. You're going to make us call people ugly?
Absolutely.
At 8 a.m. Pacific?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have some guesses here. Let's start with the guy with the awesome glasses, Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder is
Sally Jesse Raphael?
Number 12.
What?
Yeah.
Right in the middle. Smack dab. Damn.
No, Ime Udoka.
Ime Udoka is a good one.
Ime Udoka. I guess this is going to really reveal our own preferences in some ways. No,
I mean, I'm just trying to think, like,
number
Ime
20,
Udoka,
bottom
he was
10.
he was
Bottom
dating
10,
Nia
wow.
Long.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably going to JJ Redick.
JJ Redick's number one.
Number one. Wow.
Handsome by far, actually.
Insane.
Youth,
By
I guess. Wow.
Yeah. His attractiveness score out of 10, he rated an 8.44 according to this AI tool.
So he would be like the People's Magazine most beautiful coach.
He's the most beautiful coach. Yeah.
Okay, if we're going on the young scale, Will Hardy. How about that?
Oh, Will Hardy. He's number 7. So you're in the ballpark.
Okay. All right.
You're in the ballpark. I will not let this conversation go on for another 60 seconds.
I hope so. Yeah.
I'm giving you guys
I don't want to guess who the ugliest is. I don't want to.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Somebody old.
Top 3. Charles Lee's
like
number
ages.
2. Charles Lee's number 2.
Oh, good looking dude. Yeah.
Mark Daignault number 3. I question this AI tool a little bit. Okay, bottom 3. Any guesses?
Tom Thibodeau.
That's a great guess.
Yeah, that is a good guess. But he's a handsome chap.
He's 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Mike Budenholzer?
Mike Budenholzer,
bud.
25th. So we're there in the ballpark. He rated a 4.99.
Oh man. I'm trying to think of who else.
Okay. Ugliest
Doc
coach.
Rivers?
Doc
Rivers
Rivers.
is 27th. You're getting closer.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Oh my God, yeah. Man, I can't.
Ugliest coach, Tyronn Lue of the Clippers. So we got the
What?
Lakers and the Clippers as the
Hey, AI has been pumping out BS, and we know it. And I'll defend Ty Lue.
Yeah, that's very, very. That's wrong.
So,
It's wrong.
Incorrect.
That's a bad premise. Oh my gosh. This is what we're using AI for.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of AI. Anything that happened last night that you don't feel like you got to talk enough about, or that like stuck out to you? I mean, we haven't heard any
you guys
opinions
Yeah.
on anything yet, but like what were like the main things that stuck out to you from last night?
I mean, I think from the Lakers side of things, LeBron's physicality, the activity on the defensive end was just awesome. It was incredible, and I think it set the tone for the rest of the team. You think of the way that first quarter started. Zena, did you hear our coaches rant, by the way?
No, I didn't. But the fact it's literally 8:05 and it's activity on the other end was, I'm like, woo,
It's like Zena and I are basically like roommates. We saw each other late last night, saw each other first thing this morning. Yeah.
That's true.
No, you missed the initial very, very interesting part of.
What was the coach's rant?
Could you guess who is the most attractive coach in the NBA according to AI?
Is it Jordy Hernandez?
Oh, that's a good guess.
Great guess, actually.
That's a good guess.
Zena had that one loaded.
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't. I was thinking. I was like trying to
That's
think of all the. I was thinking of all the younger guys like Charles
Yeah,
Lee,
Charles
Jordy,
Lee's
like
too.
Yeah, Zena's on point here. Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Jordy's
The younger
6.
coaches.
Jordy's
Okay.
6. Yeah.
Well, wait. Who was it?
JJ.
Well, JJ. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, he's a younger coach too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's real. Is it with the aneurysm or without?
That was awesome, by the way. I don't know how you guys reacted to it. I haven't got a chance to listen to the morning show yet, but like,
Oh
man, that was crazy. His reaction to that. It seemed like it was a pretty innocuous play too. Like it didn't seem like it was anything crazy.
They didn't do the thing they were supposed to do. Like
yeah. And they had been stacking it.
Our
for
listeners
a bit,
through this in case they missed it.
So
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you gotta ask. No, I actually want to hear your perspective from home. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So on TV, you can it's kind of framed at Dante DiVincenzo, right? And you just hear someone yelling in the background, right? And there's another angle of this, and you're Jesus Christ, what the hell, right? That's what you hear when and then it cuts to a clip of JJ calling a timeout, and he storms onto the floor. He's yelling at every single player. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And yeah, he was just livid. You could hear him even after the timeout. All the beat reporters from the Lakers side of things, because I believe some of them sit courtside or near the coach's huddle. They were like, JJ Redick is not happy. This is very
and
angry.
S gave us the very Canadian nice version.
Yes,
it was expletive laden.
Oh yeah,
well, it's a family
All the
show.
expletives.
It's a family show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was like, I mean, the mics were hot because on my end, when I heard the JFC, it was going to a commercial break, and I was like, ooh, those mics were still hot. They were real hot.
Yeah, hot mics, a big theme recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You would know up in Canada.
But yeah, I know that's a different story for another day. But look, the Lakers, I was just talking about this, but like the LeBron's physicality was awesome. I don't know what you guys thought of this, but like the way that he stepped up defensively, that was what popped up to me. And it really just like he sets the tone for them defensively, because if he's trying, if he's being the guy who's like rotating out, being physical, the rest of the team does the same.
Well, that game one, honestly, it was, I don't know, one of the few playoff games in my life that I can remember not really feeling LeBron James was out there. And usually it happens when they're up 2-0. Like, when he was in Cleveland, that game 3, maybe he might coast a little bit more. And I'm not saying he was coasting. My concern is that LeBron isn't totally healthy, right? Like he re-aggravated that groin injuries. I don't know if you guys ever had one.
Yeah,
let me tell you, you don't want one. It takes forever to actually get 100%. And, he's closer to my age than y'all's. And so I just worry about him with the, how's he going to recover? But he actually answered the call, like you said, with the physicality, the rebounding. And let's not forget, the most important thing in that run that they've made, since like December, is that LeBron was playing at a somewhat close to all NBA defensive level, right? Like he was backline help. Like it's why Jackson Hayes looks so good all year. So they need him to play at that level if they expect to beat the Wolves, because the Wolves, they're young and they've got so much size. But I do think that the difference between game 1 and game 2 was clearly it was LeBron play better. Right.
Yeah. And it was two-way LeBron. Like the fact that it was the defensive rebounding directly into transition opportunities. Yep. And the thing about LeBron, which is so fun to watch, is he is literally a one-man fast break, like in a one-man secondary break. Like he can literally pitch ahead. He can get into a drag screen. He can do all the different things because he has the floor vision. And then also the physicality and the size to just take it himself if he really needs to. And yeah, everyone kind of stepped up around him, but he led the breaks several times last night and kind of led them in the offensive category just as much as the defense.
Yeah. How sustainable do you think the defensive physicality of this Lakers team is? Because like they have chosen to go like very small. Like they don't really even play Vando.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and Jackson Hayes is unplayable right now.
Vando's not playable either. They're going to just sag off. It's the Andre Robertson effect, right? Like you hit the playoffs, buddy, you got to prove it. And they're going to make Vando prove it every single time. Minnesota really knows Jared Vanderbilt too. You know, he
True.
played there.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
right.
think that is a bit, Andrew. That is a great like question because I don't know, right? Like it really is LeBron Superman because this is obviously a higher level of competition than the regular season. The turnaround time, he does have rest, but I just think, man, if he's going to be able to do this, he's going to have to play, you know, upwards of 40 minutes a night because they are just so shorthanded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's the thing. I'm looking at the box score right now. Austin, Luka, 42 minutes each. LeBron, 39 minutes. Dorian Finney-Smith, almost 39 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you look on the Minnesota side of things, only one person got to 40 minutes, and that was Edwards. Like, and they're younger already. Like, it's just like and it's going to require that level of exertion to go up against these guys every single time. And then you also look at real minute distribution between Jared Vanderbilt and Jordan Goodwin. The Lakers win about 7 deep.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being real. And that's crazy when you're thinking about the athletes that are on the other side. And I think, you know, the numbers would have been up for the Minnesota Timberwolves had some of these people on the bench not gotten in foul trouble. Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, you know, so that's a great question. And especially going home, going to Minnesota where they're going to turn up in front of their fans.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't think it's going to last long.
Well, I'm thinking even like if they win this round, if the Lakers somehow survive here and they end up facing either the Warriors or Rockets, like those are two teams that are going to push the pace. They are going to play a little bit deeper than the Lakers can play. Bigger, obviously, even the Warriors, who are small, can play bigger than the Lakers. And I like that's the physicality. It's exhausting playing the way the Lakers do on defense. Like you have to be. It's so tiring. It's tiring watching them. You know, I think that's the level of like, how do you sustain this through 2 series, man?
I love the idea of like my wife walking in the living room and I'm just like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Like what is going on? The Lakers. Just like I'm spent.
My favorite thing on that note, my favorite thing last night was going downstairs, and we have couches in my house, but my boyfriend is sitting quite literally on our like ottoman coffee table that's 2 feet away from the television, like locked in mode. And I'm like, mind you, the Lakers were up 20 something at that point. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you so, why are you so
is he a Lakers? I thought
I could hear it.
Oh yeah, Dave.
Zena and I in the we're talking pre-show, and I hear all this yelling, and we were about to record one of the interviews last night, and I'm like, oh, I guess the Lakers did something good.
Yeah.
No, he yells for everything, but he was so stressed.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
And he was like, I can't trust them. And it's true.
Playoffs.
What?
Sure.
Okay, does he do that in the regular season, or is this just playoff mode activated?
Oh, no. This is him all through the season.
Oh, it is.
Wow.
Oh, I heard the story. I mean, he apparently gets it honest. He learned it at home.
He learned it at home. Him and his father, the same.
Nice.
Okay.
It was almost like it was like a movie scene or like a TV show scene the first time I watched a Lakers game at their house, and his dad starts yelling, and then he starts yelling, and then the little brother starts yelling. And I was like, it runs through the family.
Wow. Okay. I like that. Yeah. There's just like a playoff mode though, as a fan of a team, where you spend more time standing than sitting as you're watching the game at home. You're pacing. Yeah. You know, there's parts where you can't watch, so you turn your body away. I mean, that's like if you're a true NBA fan, like of a specific team, like everybody has had those moments. So
do you guys see that video of that guy from the Detroit Pistons fan that cried because they broke their drought? Yeah, and everyone was like getting on
That's
him.
Awesome.
And it's like, that's real fandom. Like that is a true fan. It's of course they didn't win the finals, but they got something. Yeah.
If that guy doesn't exist, we don't really have jobs. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing is sports is really, it's supposed to be fun, and like being passionate is great.
Yeah.
People made fun of a guy for being happy that his team.
No, that's so silly.
You know, in life, man, you got to celebrate the good stuff.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah. The Pistons are such a good story too, right? Like that's a team that if you're a fan,
yes, they are,
especially if you're if you're a Pistons fan, right? Like, because this is a throwback to those old Pistons teams that you're, you know, if you're like a younger guy now, like maybe your dad watched them, or if you're me and you're older, maybe you watched both, right? You get to see like this evolution from like bad boys to bad boys again. So I don't know. I think that's fun. That's great. Good.
Some of my like
there
youngest...
should be more crying in sports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, as a fan, I have cried a lot for sports things. I remember like one of my youngest basketball memories ever is LeBron against the Pistons, the 2007, I believe it was, conference finals, where he scored like 1 million points in a row.
Yeah.
That's the last time I remember the Pistons in the playoffs, you know? Chris Webber and Rip Hamilton and those guys, like that's sort of the version of the team that I remember last time in the playoffs, which is just crazy to think about. It's been 17 years. Wild. Absolutely wild that they're playing basketball again.
Well, let's talk about the Pistons.
Okay. All right.
They're going back to Detroit and they got a dub and they're feeling good. And they didn't lose composure.
Yeah.
Like it was really good to see them, even though Jalen Brunson still went off in the fourth quarter, still did his thing that some people will call.
How do you guys feel about the grifting with Jalen Brunson? Do you guys?
It's insane. It's insane.
It's
but is it more insane than like, I don't know, Embiid or?
Okay, it's just because he's smaller. So like for real, it doesn't look as bad because he hits the floor every single time.
Right.
And if we're gonna hit Embiid for that, and we should, because Embiid dives all over the place. I mean, pour one out for Danny Green's knee, you know, because the flopping is dangerous, but like Brunson gets away with it because he's little.
Yeah.
And that's it. But he is.
Does he get away with it?
He does not. People are on him now.
People are on him.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I was like, people are like looking at this.
Well, we used to like last season, the Knicks were the darling, right? It was, oh my God, look at this Knicks team. Jalen Brunson is awesome. And now I think it's actually kind of flipped where they're like, this is too much.
Yeah. I think part of it is like they have all these weapons now that are not being utilized down the stretch.
Yeah.
And what they are doing is utilizing Jalen Brunson at like 150%. It feels
unassisted.
Like on the stretch.
Yeah,
you know?
he led the league in unassisted twos, and I believe unassisted threes also.
Yeah,
I mean but this is Tom Thibodeau, and this is why for years I've said Tom Thibodeau really needs an offensive coordinator. Instead of just riding your point guard and saying, hey, go beat your man, and then everyone else play off that. But, you know, one of the big things that has come up for me, especially the last couple of games, how come we can't get Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns in a pick and roll?
Yeah.
You know, it seems to me like they should just be able to, 1.2 points per possession is in reach for them if they run pick and rolls with him and Karl Anthony Towns. But otherwise, like, Karl Anthony Towns isn't being used. And now you've got a bigger problem because he's bad on defense. So you're giving up defense and rebounding, and you're not utilizing a super high level offensive player at all. And this is why they can't beat good teams, though. Yeah. They don't have an optimized offense. They don't have easy buckets in them. They only have Jalen Brunson. Right. Like their bread and butter stuff is Jalen, go get us a shot. OG, go get us a shot.
It's kind of
why
weird.
Mikal Bridges was doing like those bad threes they were taking down the stretch in that loss, right? They weren't generating looks, they were just pulling. And that's because they just don't have any kind of offensive organization at all.
They sort of miss Julius Randle. It's weird to say. I know, but
I love your like 60% committal to it.
I'm not saying they need Randle back. No, because I mean, Dave knows
came from
how
the
hard
depths of him. He's like, I don't know if I want to let it out. I don't know.
Well,
they miss someone willing to go get a bucket.
Just go do something outside of Jalen Brunson. And like if you go back and look at the fourth quarter, they barely got him any touches, but generally when they did, shout out to Tobias Harris, who would push him out on every post up, right?
Yeah.
You're catching the ball at the 3-point line instead of, at like the extended free throw line, extended area. That's a big difference when it comes to Cat, who's like, I'm going to dribble 3 times before I end up creating anything. It just, it makes a world of a difference in the playoffs with that.
And it ruins their spacing for him to operate. when
Mhm.
he's got to start from all the way out there as opposed to operating in the mid post. And you're right. I think there are a lot of tools, but everyone is deferring. And I'm wondering, like, of course, Tom Thibodeau is probably in the huddle being like, Jalen, you're the option. You're the guy first, and then everyone else plays off of that. But then at the same time, like, you're NBA players. Like, who else is in the huddle being like, hey, I'm open. My guy is like slacking off or not paying attention or whatever it is. Even on the pick and roll, like Mikal Bridges, like, hey, I'm open on the roll down, or I'm open up on the, the curl around. Like, no one is kind of being like, there's other ways to do this. OG, like,
well, I was going to say,
feels as if everyone's deferral.
We got all these great stories, James Edwards and Fred Katz writing about OG and this offensive explosion, and then he puts up 10 in a loss, totally. Right? Like that's a thing. But again, it goes back to Brunson. It's that high usage. It's there's a real funny thing where OG gives everyone grenades. At the end of a shot clock where you pass the ball to a guy and there's 2 seconds left and the guy has to shoot it because OG does not want to take a bad shot, right?
Yeah.
That is like now what's happening to OG, right? Like he's back to being the grenade catcher because Jalen Brunson will pound the leather out of the ball. So, ultimately, like this is why I put a limit on the Knicks ceiling. It's why I felt like the Pistons could potentially win the series because if
do you feel that way right now?
Offense, I mean, I don't look, man. I will say that this series is a little bit unpredictable. The Knicks have more talent, and the Knicks should have won game 2.
Yeah,
the Knicks have more talent, but when you look at, I don't think that they have enough organization on offense. And when the Pistons defense is locked in like it was, that's a problem. It makes the Knicks vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's unlikely the Pistons win this series, right? Like talent normally wins.
Still feel Knicks, right?
But this is why the Knicks can't beat a good team. They were 0-10 against OKC, Cleveland, and Boston, right?
Yeah.
And for that reason, though, I want to give credit to Jalen Brunson. Because if you've got a team that has no offensive organization and you are the person that is like, all right, I got to go do everything. He does go do everything. And I got to give him credit for that at his size and him putting his body on the line. So
he plays like he's wearing Timbs, right? Like, and as a small guard, you don't get to say that about a lot of small guards.
Yeah.
And they're like, now it's funny that he flops, but we're still saying he plays like he's in Timbs. But
yeah.
Hey, sometimes the tongue be loose. The tongue is loose. You didn't let
it's not tied.
Nice.
It's definitely not tied. And he's got the short laces with, it's tied up on the ends, right?
Oh yeah.
He also plays like the coach's son he is. You ever played on a team yet?
The coach's son,
yes. I have played on a team
that's
like
a good
that.
point.
Yes.
Oh man.
This is literally
son 101.
Son of a coach. Son. Now, usually when I say son of a coach, it's a white guy, but that normally is a specific type of white guy.
Like the bench guy
that I coach. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think the Pistons have been way better than I thought they would be. Honestly, they have played really well, and they are a Cameron Payne explosion away from being up 2-0.
Yeah.
Like it is not like this is. I would be pretty nervous if I am the Knicks fan, just because it has looked so clunky. Cade has been very good. Tobias Harris deserves just an outrageous amount of credit.
Who knew?
Listen,
who knew?
Hey, and you know who's going to be pissed in game 3? Malik Beasley for losing 6th man of the year. That's another guy who's
true. Yeah, a lot of fire under these guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, watch out, Knicks fans. Like, I still think my bold prediction for the playoffs was that the Pistons would win, and they would win pretty easily. I would be terrified if I were a Knicks fan. Like going back to the Little Caesars Arena, where they have the best media food in the
country. Hot and ready pizzas?
Oh yeah.
I've been there twice. What did I miss out on food?
You miss, I mean the Little Caesars like they have like hot and ready.
Oh, you're talking about the arena. Okay, I got
crazy bread.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had Little Caesars in a very long time,
guys. I haven't
had probably since I was like 8.
Damn it!
Like not even a joke.
By the way,
I don't even know if there's a Little Caesars by me. I'm looking.
Detroit pizza, fire, awesome.
I went to college during a time where the $5 hot and ready I mean,
Yeah.
I think
you know,
it's
little-
still hot and ready
Is it?
$5. They still do it.
Is it
Is
I
the
do.
quality good?
Yes.
Are you
Look.
sure?
There's a Little Caesars
I
right
have
across the street from
one
my
that
house right
opens
now.
up
All right,
in a
S.
few hours.
You know what
Might
you
have
got
to
to
try it
do.
out.
Yeah, I can be back. I guess. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a taste test on here.
555.
$5.55. There you go.
$5.55 is
55 cents
crazy.
through.
Hey, that's like, you know what? They don't get enough
That's
credit.
crazy.
That's like Arizona iced tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right,
okay.
right.
Yeah. It's like
Subway
a
doesn't have a $5 footlong anymore.
All this inflation, you still
No.
got $5. There you go. Look at
$5 there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Little Caesar. Shout out to Sam's Club. You guys ever go to a Sam's Club? Get yourself a $1.
that. And they
30
don't
hot
have
dog.
them in here
I think
anyway.
Costco has those.
Costco
Costco's
still
got
has the
it.
$1. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
same,
Yep.
same deal.
Mm-hmm. Dollar hot dog and the dollar ice cream. We're hungry. This is clearly
Unfortunately,
the
I
thing
stopped
right
eating hot dogs, so you know.
That is not surprising at all, Dave. That you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
I have a
that's not being
question.
mean.
I have a question. I have a question.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know how to say this without being offensive, but it's supposed to be a compliment. Who is the Little Caesars or Arizona iced tea player
Ooh.
of the NBA.
Oh, like
of the NBA?
value.
Oh, that's
Correct.
good.
Like they've been consistent over the years. You can bet wherever
cheap.
they go.
But
cheap.
cheap. Yeah, but
Exactly.
affordable.
Affordable.
Man.
That's a
Is it-
great
is it-
question.
Is it Dennis Schroeder?
I was gonna say that.
That is
Oh my
great.
god! Wait! I literally asked this question with Dennis in mind.
Really?
That's-
Wow.
Yes, I literally asked this question because he plays for Detroit.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
had those big
Yeah.
shots, and
That's
everywhere he
amazing.
goes now, except for the Warriors, but everywhere he's gone, he brings this tenacity on defense. Like he's
Totally.
a pest at the top of the defense. He can hit some big shots. He can organize your offense.
That's so good.
Like I had the answer in mind, Andrew.
You know how
That's
else
good.
this is like that?
Here.
Because like not every Little Caesars location is good. Like there are some bad ones, and like Dennis Schroeder has had some really bad locations that he's been into.
True.
Like he is
And I
not.
didn't fit
he's-
him, right? Yeah.
He's not done
And
well.
he
Like you
didn't
don't
And
want to
he fumbled the bag, right? Remember, he
Right.
fumbled the
Yeah,
bag.
absolutely fumbled the bag. There are Little Caesars locations that are
Lakers.
fumbling the bag as we speak. As I'm making pizza right now, you don't go there.
Oh, that's so good, Zena. That is absolutely Dennis Schroeder. Wow.
That's crazy that you went immediately to him. That's amazing.
Wow.
We didn't plan this, guys. Don't worry. That
That's
was-
amazing. Honestly,
good.
I
that's
hope that
honestly
we didn't
amazing.
plan a Little Caesars hot and ready.
Well,
segment.
and especially since it's not sponsored by Little Caesars.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Ange in the chat
Ange,
over there.
yeah.
Yeah, Little Caesars, bring that cash. Do they have breakfast hot and ready? You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
They
that-
should, but
That feels
it,
untapped, right?
but it should be cold, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Or
And
breakfast.
I do
Wait,
not
wait,
microwave
why should
my
it be
pizza.
cold?
Let me
Cold
get a
pizza
30.
for breakfast,
What?
guys.
Oh, I get it. I see.
Cold
I'm-
pizza
I'm
Oh,
down.
I
am
I'm
not-
down. I'm down.
You know what? Okay, so I'm not a cold pizza girl, but I am a cold Chinese food.
Same. I
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
I could pretty much have any.
I've not done
food
cold
cold,
pizza, but
right?
I've done
Yeah.
cold
Cold,
Chinese.
Not done
cold
cold.
pasta is so good, right? Like
Yep.
ravioli.
Oh,
or-
interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guys, we are
See, I haven't-
starving. We are clearly very hungry.
Um,
Somebody come sponsor us and give us food.
Quaker
Listen.
Oats. Thunder Talk.
Alaskan Strummer wants to know if we've missed Thunder Talk. So we can talk Thunder.
Let's do
Can
it.
we talk about
Yeah.
the Thunder? I said last night or this morning on the show. Last night. We'll keep it kayfabe. This morning. This is actually the first dominant 2-0 lead, Andrew. To win your first two games in a series by 70 is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, now part of it is that the Grizzlies just don't really look like a basketball team, you know. I don't know what's going on with Jaren Jackson because outside of hitting some shots, man, I have not felt like he has been involved in anything like on
He's
either
lost
end.
out there. Yeah.
But man, the Thunder just are rolling, and I actually think that the biggest thing to come out of the series so far was that game 2 for Alex Caruso. I thought that he really influenced that game in all of the way, like connector on offense, was disruptive on defense, and I just, to me, Caruso's he's had a really good season, but it's picking those spots where he creates more stuff, like where they need him to do more stuff. I thought he was excellent in that game, but the Thunder just I don't know. I think the Thunder we're thinking about them for the next round, right? Like I want to know who they're going to play next, and you know, not to get, we can get ahead of them, but man, they look like the team that checked all the boxes during the regular season that we just keep saying they haven't done it before, right? Like that's it. It's the only excuse that I have through 2 games why they won't make it to the finals is that they haven't done it.
It's fun for Alex that his box score actually finally reflects the impact that he had. Like he had the highest plus minus, and you could see across the board, like he just filled in the stats. But yeah, I mean, I said it on today's show. We didn't really learn anything new about OKC so far in these 2 games, other than just how hungry they are and how unsatisfied or dissatisfied they are with being great, because they were excellent in that second game as well. And we're thinking about the next series. It's just, it's simple.
I think like you can tell yourself, or if you're anti-Thunder, which I highly doubt for a lot of us here, but like if you're anti-Thunder, you can say, well, Memphis is a terrible series, terrible matchup, right? OKC can handle them. They can guard them. There's not a lot of shooters out there. They're playing Luke Kennard because they just need some sort of shooting. But I think OKC has been this level of a defense against basically everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And like they do it against Boston in March. They're doing it against Denver. They're doing it against whoever you throw out there. And so when you talk about the second round and it's Clippers, it's the Nuggets, yes, those are bigger, better challenges than the Thunder, but those 2 teams are beating each other up. Like those 2 teams are going to come out tired. Those 2 teams are going to come out of a maybe 6-7 game series and feel exhausted. And OKC is going to have a week off, and that's a week off for Caruso. That's a week off for Holmgren. That's a week off for Hart.
They already look fresh and well rested. Again, it looked like a college team in game 1, and then they brought the same energy in game 2. Part of it's the crowd. Speaking of Andrew, I need you to give a note to the Thunder. The blue t-shirts in the crowd don't work. It looks like the seats are empty. The white, it doesn't look as good. The white is amazing, right? Like the white out is great.
It's true.
Orange is awesome.
It's true.
Orange is fun. Yeah.
They're gonna stripe it up at some point.
Oh, now we're talking, right? Like mix in the blue. But Andrew, look, man, you are Mr. Thunder. 2 games in the playoffs. Have you seen one thing that has surprised you or jumped out that like you weren't expecting or that was new? Or is this all just, predictable?
Nothing specifically new. I would just say like the most important thing that I've seen is just the play of J-Dub and Chet. Like they both look ready. And Chet specifically looks better than he has in a while. Man, I think some of it was getting that week off, like week plus off for him, because he's still recovering. He broke his hip, and he and I have bonded a little bit over our injuries, and so like we've talked shop on injuries, and so like he's still like working his way back to a degree, and so I think the playoff schedule is going to be pretty favorable to him. In that, like, you're not just like traveling like all the way across the country all the time, and there's no back-to-backs, any of that. But when you're the Thunder and you're in this position in the Western Conference where you're waiting on Denver Clippers that is likely to go 6 or 7, and you're likely to sweep this team, I think it bodes really well for him. The thing that's looked great to me is like his shot looks really good, which I think is really, really important. There's some times where he'll shoot it and just it's like a line drive. To the hoop, which is not great, but he's got lift, which is something that we haven't seen. So like that's great. He got 8 threes last night, and then also his timing, and it's super duper unfair to Zach Edey, who has been borderline unplayable in this series. But Chet had 5 blocks and 1 foul last night, and his timing is ridiculous.
It's the best in the NBA.
Honestly, he has hit. He actually hit a big 3 pretty much every time that the Grizz started to do anything. And that to me is like, that's the stuff that the Thunder were missing last year. I mean, we talked about this. The my turn, your turn at the end of games between Shea and Jalen, having Chet changes that. Like, I think it takes the pressure off of Jalen, allows him to just kind of play around those 2. I don't know. I don't want to crown them already because I do think that they're going to have a harder time, in the next few rounds.
If they don't have a harder time,
right
now,
right. But they haven't had a hard time all year, man. Like
harder is relative
by
though.
double digits.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely relative.
It's really hard, and this is something that I've always struggled with, like since I've done this, with the NBA, because it's a different sport when you get to the playoffs, right? So it can be so unpredictable. But man, they have just done every single thing up to this point in this season about as well as you could do it. And I refuse to not believe in them. Like if they'd come out and laid a dud against this garbage Grizzlies team, then we could start poking holes. But man, I got none yet.
Yeah. The Grizzlies are a rival though. There's no spirit in that team.
Yeah.
I know.
They are
really sad.
I'm getting texts. I'm just getting, hey, how do you like Ja in Orlando? What does Ja look like in Houston?
Both terrible fits, by the way.
It feels like, right, yeah. I mean, I think this summer, we've got a lot of guys that we can ask these sorts of questions about.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Ja is front and center now.
I told you guys yesterday, I was like, after this Bucks Pacers game, expect a full few day cycle of where's Giannis going, right? Like this is, but that Grizzlies team, I've just never seen just the spirit die.
Yeah. And what's so interesting? Well, I mean, obviously, yes, a coaching change is one thing, but in terms of personnel, the only person you're missing from that team you were earlier this season, where everyone was like, "Oh, look at this two-way team in Memphis," is Jalen Wells, and so you're just like, "What happened?" Like the absence of just Jalen can't be major impact on your defense because he was that huge source, but what happened? Like that pick and roll between Ja and Zach was lethal earlier on in the season. And the number one thing that comes to mind is Jaren Jackson. And the funny thing is, yes, Jaren Jackson had 26 points last night, but he was still disconnected. There were so many miscues on defense. So many miscues on defense that had to do with Jaren Jackson, whether it was switching or handling someone coming to the paint, handling someone coming off the perimeter, coming off screens. There were so many turnovers. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, the personnel didn't change. What happened? Like for this level of a drop off.
Yeah.
Do you think they should fire their coach again and see if it inspires them to win a game in the playoffs?
Listen, they honestly don't have another lever to pull. I mean, they played Marvin Bagley, they dusted off Luke Kennard.
No, Bagley was good in game one, right? Like he was the only guy out there that looked like he was, trying extra hard.
I mean, Scottie Pippen Jr. is a bench guard for every other team in the NBA, and he is somehow cast as like not only the guy that plays on the perimeter, but he's their best defender, which he would be the best defender on this many playoff teams. I mean, they just don't. There's not an adjustment to make. Like that is kind of where I've landed. There's no adjustment to really make that could help the Grizzlies. Like I would say, like stop playing Zach Edey. I think that is sincerely something they need to do. But then it's like, what's the alternative?
I think there is something to the coaching change of how much they wanted to incorporate Zach Edey, though, because Taylor Jenkins was sparingly using Zach Edey. It was like in and out of the rotation
because he has eyes and a brain.
And now Thomas Isalo is like leading into Edey.
Hey, I'll say this: Taylor Jenkins, I do believe his stock is going back up as the Grizzlies stink, right? Like he doesn't is not looking like the problem.
Yeah,
he sit at home like I told y'all.
Yeah, this summer for coaches is going to be also interesting. Sadly, right? Like San Antonio is going to be looking for a coach.
Yeah,
Denver's going to be looking for a coach. I think Memphis may still even be looking for a coach. Like we'll see. Although you don't usually bring an assistant like this over if you're not, especially with the way the Grizzlies they groomed Taylor Jenkins, right? Like, but man, there's one guy that came out of this that looks way better than the day he got fired is Taylor Jenkins. I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
You don't think that San Antonio is going to try to do what Boston did, like just with Joe Mazzulla?
Oh, like hire
you know-
internally type of thing.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
I'm not reporting, but from
Yeah.
talking to people, and I know a lot of people. It does seem like they're going to do a coaching search, but I would guess knowing the Spurs as well as I kind of do, like, I think that they would start with people who have been through the system. Taylor Jenkins was,
There's so many people.
he was there
also,
right?
Yeah.
He started as a video intern there.
So many people have started with Pop. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
Mike Budenholzer is a Pop guy, and he now is a free agent. Now, I don't think, if I was guessing, I would guess they want someone younger that can be there for a long time. Like, this is a franchise that values stability, and Pop is going to be around, right? So Pop will have a hand in this as well. But yeah, I don't think that it will be someone, I think Mitch Thompson has stepped up, and that's tough, man. How do you follow the greatest coach in NBA history? I mean, Gregg Popovich just absolutely I mean,
do you guys know?
I could go on a long diatribe about how I studied the way Gregg Popovich coached, and like did I steal parts of his motion offense? Yes, absolutely.
I have an interesting fact here about Gregg Popovich. Do you know that he is 6 degrees of separation from the inventor of basketball, James Naismith?
Did not.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know the 6 degrees, or are you like Charles Barkley?
I don't have them off the top of my head right now, but they.
You're Charles Barkley.
A basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it like through?
No.
Was it through?
It's through coaching. It's through like
Wooden or
it's through Wooden, and then he started with this guy, and this guy started with this guy, and
Coach Pop was at Pomona Spitzer when he first started. Yeah.
There's a whole tree here, and so you could technically, because Gregg Popovich has the greatest coaching tree in NBA history. You could technically say that he is under the James Naismith coaching tree because it's all kind of connected. Yeah, crazy.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, last night's when Charles Barkley said some stat about the 4-something teams, and then Ernie Johnson was like, usually you say the stat, you establish it, and then you back it up with the actual stat. And Charles is like, guy in the back, like, figure it out for me. It was hilarious. I was like,
I love that transparency, because there are times where I'm watching other people on TV and they will, as a part, he's shooting 52.2% on the season. Like he's just pulling these numbers up. You know what I mean? That's not how people talk. So I appreciate Charles Barkley just putting the guys that do the actual work.
I found it. I found the coaching tree.
Oh,
did you? There you go.
I did. Okay, so
shout out to Zena for doing that
I've made a video
work.
on this before. I'm ashamed that I don't know it off the top of my head, but go ahead.
Well, I think it's cool that you remember this and know this. So there's 5 branches to Popovich, from Larry Brown to Dean Smith to Fogg Allen to Naismith, and there you are.
There you go.
Kansas and North Carolina colleges are all over this. So Fogg Allen, Dean Smith, Larry Brown, Popovich, George Karl, R.C. Buford.
It's through Larry Brown.
It's through Larry Brown. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Crazy, right? Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to Pop, man.
Shout out to Pop. If you have a question for us, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. But if you have any questions, we would love to answer questions from the chat about the playoffs, about specific teams.
Ooh, player poll. That was interesting.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Got any questions about that? We hit it a little bit last night, Zena. The Tyrese Haliburton is overrated. Did not shock me. Didn't shock me that the players think that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think that his up and down play, and then the hamstring injury, right? Because he would have these duds, which I've talked about extensively in the last 2 seasons. And then he doesn't play defense. And that's a thing that guys in the NBA really do pay quite a bit of attention to. Like, it's different than when Luka doesn't play defense. I think with Haliburton, he's held to a different standard for some reason. And part of that's probably style of play and usage or whatnot. But I like the way he came out and played in that game. I like that he was kind of pissed off about it, right? Like, what are you talking about?
I like the back and forth between him and Dame. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you think he is overrated?
I would say slightly. I think he's not the best player on his team.
I agree with that, by the way. Pascal is the best.
He's treated. Haliburton is has a bigger media presence, and he's elevated. He was oddly elevated into an MVP conversation, and like, come on, man. And I think that is a big problem, right? Like, because Siakam being their best player gets overlooked.
Yeah, I think rated is weird, right? Sorry, Zena. I just like It overrated is based on how you are rated generally, like how much juice you have in the league, right?
Yeah,
like how much does the NBA invest in advertising you? And I think it was Haliburton all year last year. So naturally, the player reaction is, well, this guy isn't as good as their.
Where's my shine?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I had many of these conversations with players, not just Thunder, but with other players too, about this. And I've talked to players about this for a few years now, in this setting, which is awesome. And I know that like Ricardo's like, show me the players, but like, listen, you're not going to get anybody to say anything.
Right.
Name's tied to it. So like, that's the beauty of this. So you don't get this without the anonymity. So first of all, that's a ridiculous request. Second of all, there's always there's always so many qualifiers around these answers where it's like, it doesn't mean they're bad, right? Overrated doesn't mean that they think that they're not a good player,
right?
So like that context needs to be pushed out there too, because I think that a lot of people read this and think that Haliburton sucks. Like, I don't think that they think that he's terrible.
No.
It's really just about like, man, he gets way too much media attention. Whereas like, go ahead.
No, I think to S's point about the way that someone is publicized, like I think where Tyrese got a lot of publicity is similar to the Cam Johnson thing of being a student of the game. Like there were so many ways in which people saw Tyrese talking about how much he loves watching film and breaking down film and all these different things. And so people were like, oh, wow, he's a student of the game. He knows the game, et cetera. And I think that elevated people's perception of him as a player because there weren't a lot of young kids doing what he was doing. Right. And so it kind of separated him in that conversation and in that generation. But I also look at the fact that like, maybe players are looking at 2K ratings and like Tyrese Haliburton has a higher 2K rating than Pascal Siakam.
That's real.
That is a real thing in which players are probably like, that's overrated. Like Pascal Siakam should have 100%. A better 2K rating. Anyway.
That's a great point, Zena. Like, that's so real. That is 100% a part of it. Absolutely.
What's his rating? You guys know what his rating is?
No clue.
It's 90.
I'm going to say 90. Yeah.
Zena, you play 2K?
I mean, I used to play 2K. I don't play it anymore.
We got to get the Twitch stream.
Absolutely. I would never. Nope. I would embarrass myself. I was so bad at it. I just love the storylines too. But anyways, I've always looked at 2K ratings because when I worked in the NFL, I remember the players really caring about their NFL Madden ratings and like it like fueling people's seasons in the NFL.
Yeah. You would think though that the basketball guys would know that the 2K folks don't really know ball.
And that's what I figured.
Well, it's been
right?
like that for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I
he's
figured.
He's 25th though. Like he's 25th in overall in the NBA in 2K rating.
It's not bad.
Is that too high? Is that really too high?
No, that's about.
He's somewhere in that 25 to 30 range, probably, right? 20 to 30.
I'd probably say 20.
I think top 30 players.
Yeah, he's in the same range as like James Harden, Jaren Jackson, Paolo, Bam. Like, is that crazy?
No, that's about right.
I would wager. I would actually say he's probably better than all those.
I think
guys.
the 90 though, for again, we've like just like these guys, we've all played 2K for a long time. 90 feels high, right? Like 90 is like,
but it's like the scale that they're doing it on is
right. Everyone's inflated,
right? Yeah.
Did they used to give out 98s?
Yeah,
there've been 99s.
They've never used. Well, it used to be that they'd never give out 99s, and now I think like there's 7 99. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
I don't think there's a 99 right now.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. There you go.
All right, I got a question before we get out of here. Then, Paolo Banchero is also a 90.
See, now that's way overrated.
I don't think he's a 90.
Yeah. What's Jaren Jackson?
He just got boosted.
Because Jaren Jackson is a guy that, to me, when we're talking about overrated, I think that's a guy who probably
can't believe we're talking about 2K ratings right now. This is
I know it's so funny, but it was such a good.
But I'm just saying, but I feel like that's how players when they talk about
It's
who's
the
overrated, etc.,
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think
Yeah.
that's
it
such a
probably
great point.
comes
Good
up.
point by Alaskan Strumming here. Zena, I'm sorry you just casually dropped that you used to work in the NFL. What haven't you done?
It's true.
It's
true.
That's
I have
that's
lived
facts.
many lives.
Yeah.
That's facts.
You're like
right
the
there.
Dos Equis, the most
Yeah.
interesting person.
Yeah, she really is. Jaren Jackson did make the list of most overrated, and like you're seeing it right now in this Thunder series where like he can't impose his will on either end.
Yeah, man.
Like Alex Caruso is guarding him, and I was asking him like talk to me about guarding Jaren Jackson. AC has guarded big guys a lot throughout his career. This is not like the first time he's done it, but he's like you just do the work early. He's like I push him out as far as I can. I just make his life so difficult by just working really early. And then like he just basically gives up is like what you see when AC's out there.
And then he fouls so much. He picked up that third foul in the first half, and I basically knew he was done playing defense for the game because
he's not going to be aggressive.
The narratives have also gotten to him, And I just don't know how they have it. He fouls too much and he doesn't rebound. And then you watch him and he goes out there and there's no physicality. I just, there's a ceiling on that team now. And I used to think it was Ja and his defense and his lack of shooting. And now I just think it's the whole team.
Do they? Well, that's an interesting thread to pull on. But like, I think the thing I was going to ask you guys is like, overrated is based on the expectations you have for that player, right?
Right.
Jaren Jackson Jr., a lot of people probably voted him for an all-NBA team this year, former defensive player of the year. Like there's expectations to being that type of player. He is going to get paid this summer. That's another part of this whole overrated aspect. When it comes to overrated, how much of that is the type of team that they're on? Because you could say Alex Caruso is a great example. Alex Caruso is generally underrated in the NBA, right? Not appreciated for the things that he does, but it's because he's on a team in the Thunder where he's like the seventh guy.
I think he's properly rated, by the way.
I think now
properly? Okay, fair.
As a viewer and a listener of many things, people do talk about it. I think the underrated guy on the Thunder is Casey Wallace.
Casey Wallace.
Yeah.
That guy as a dunker.
He's so good. Yeah.
I love the fact that every single time he goes up, he's trying to put somebody in the rim. Let me ask you, Andrew, is that a guy you guys you worry about losing? I mean, is like he could start somewhere.
He's number one on this.
Yeah.
There's many.
He's in the Ty Jerome could start for an NBA team type of. Yeah.
No question. And he is, the mentality is there with him. I don't know how much more of an offensive load he could take, but like you want that guy on your team. Like he's the perfect Caruso understudy.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. You want any Thunder player and the way that they buy in and set a culture on your team right now.
100%.
They are fun to watch and they are good people. They're just, I feel like they just have an energy about them that would permeate well within a roster of just like,
but you know what?
It's one of those things.
I think it's just like they find those guys. It's not like those guys become those types. They find them,
They've got a factory now, right? Like and here's the other thing. When we talk about all of the assets that the Thunder have, we don't mention the players enough.
Yeah.
Because let's just I don't know, fast forward a couple months and let's say the Thunder flame out and they don't win the title. And we just had this whole we kind of alluded that maybe Giannis is available this summer, right? Well, the players that they have on the roster are the reason that they can get it. It's not just the picks. It's the picks and the players that they've built up and developed. And I mean, I just, what they've done as an organization, it's the closest we've seen to what the Spurs built, right? And it helps when you get this tentpole guy like Shea.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Shea is their Tim Duncan, and they have just added piece after piece after piece, and they did it in such a short amount of time that when you look at like how good the Grizzlies felt like they were gonna be 3 years ago, and the Thunder were tanking, right? Like they made the Russ trade, they started this process. They get Shea, they have the couple of weird years where Shea has got injuries and they're getting picks. And they've lucked into some high draft picks, but man, the guys on that roster are what's going to net them the next big star when they go out to get a guy.
Yeah. And fun fact, today is 6 years to the day that Damian Lillard hit that shot and waved bye-bye.
Oh, wow.
6 years to the day today.
Wow.
And look at where Dame is now. Look
Yep.
at where Dame is now.
Yeah,
Where's Dame going to be next year? Not Milwaukee.
Miami. Finally going to Miami.
Not Milwaukee. He's going to be playing golf with Doc Rivers.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Doc's got a tea time, guys. Like he's got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Are the Bucks going to get swept?
No, I don't think.
No, they're not. I think they're going to get one.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get one.
Yeah, no, they're getting swept.
Too much pride.
They're getting swept. Oh wow,
Andrew.
two in Milwaukee. Indiana's beating them. I like it. I like it.
It feels honestly. You know what? It reminds me of.
They are cooked either way. You know.
It reminds me of the Bucks that championship year. Everybody it was Bucks Heat opening round. I picked Bucks in 5 just because I felt like the Heat were down. I thought the Bucks were so good, and then I saw Game 1 and I said, "Nope, this is a sweep." I actually feel the same way, Andrew.
Yeah,
that the game for them to win was Game 2.
I agree.
Dame coming back, right?
I agree.
But you saw them. I mean, there were times in the fourth quarter where Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, Dame wasn't even putting a hand on him, and they were finding a way to swing the ball. Dame was in the corner guarding Tyrese Haliburton. What a giant! I mean. What a huge mistake in your scheme.
Yeah.
Can
we call Andrew Nembhard underrated? Can he
Absolutely.
be
not now? I think
properly rated.
People are catching up, but absolutely.
He's very good. I think
Andrew Nembhard is the new Derek White.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a perfect comp.
I think that's accurate. I think that as we talk about Tyrese being overrated, this Pacers team is completely underrated.
Yes,
I completely agree.
They are not. The respect for this team is not there right now. Like, just
people don't know how good their defense has been, especially since Nembhard came back. Right, like this is why I've been so high on them. And we've talked about this a little bit. My tune changed on this team. It started last year in the playoffs. I found them disgusting last season. Disgusting. There was no defense. They were literally doing the Matador defense, just allowing teams to score. And they were just saying, we don't think you can make as many shots as we can. We're going to run. Okay. If you got a bad high school team and you don't have a lot of talent, okay, maybe we can say, okay, that's a strategy. I hate that in the NBA. And then they got to the playoffs and they found something in the ball pressure. Andrew Nembhard at the point of attack. I mean, Nesmith is a playoff body. I mean, this is why Danny Ainge drafted him.
Yeah.
And then this season started out just like last year. And I was like, oh my God, this team is so disgusting. And then Nembhard comes back. Really what it is, I might just be a big Andrew Nembhard fan, but there is a certain amount of personality that he has put into that defense. And I think, like rightfully, right? He's a bulldog. Yeah. And man, they're fun and they can ratchet up the defense in a way that I don't think they had in them in the playoffs last year. Like they're scary.
Yeah, he's the perfect guard to pair next to Haliburton, who is like, all right, cool. We're gonna try to switch and hunt Haliburton as much on defense. No, Nembhard is pre-switching. He's like fighting through screens to get that matchup, and he's so good with his activity, his hands, his ability to like get into passing lanes. I will say also, Pascal is a big part of this defense and the turnaround that they had.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get a chance to like last year fully be integrated, but they are such a better defense with him on the floor. And you see that in this series too, the way that he's being active. I agree with you, Andrew, that this team is very underrated and it looks like they're going to play the Cavs in round 2. I would say that they could beat I would not be surprised if they beat the Cavs. That would not surprise me in any way. Even though the Cavs had an incredible season.
Sure.
I really do think this Pacers team figured something out second half of the year with their defense. They could win.
They can score and defend, right? Like, I mean, they are one of the few teams that can do both. And
they're bigger than the Cavs in the backcourt too, which
in the backcourt,
we've seen that play a part. In Donovan and Darius Garland struggling sometimes throughout the season. There was a point you made about, them being disgusting last year. It's funny because I think that the moment that everyone was kind of like, what the hell is going on with them was the NBA Cup.
Right.
Well, they had already been putting up crazy numbers of like winning games 150 to 140. And it's like, great, you won, but like, and you put up that many points, but like, look how many points you allow. Like, this is ridiculous. And then the NBA Cup happened, and it was just like, this isn't even fun. Like, it is fun, but it's like, there's no defense. And then I remember all the pundits and everyone was talking about, you want to buy a ticket to the Indiana Pacers game just because it's constant buckets.
This is where Haliburton became overrated, by the way. That is
it's just constant buckets. It's if you're a casual fan, I remember this specifically, people talking about, if you're a casual fan, you love to watch Indiana because every 2 seconds you're going to see a bucket at all times. And I think that's why a lot of people, like basketball fans, were like, this isn't real basketball. This is the Harlem Globetrotters.
It depends on your age, right? I think if you were like, if you're older and you like care about defense, yes. But if you were younger and you just want to see shots get up and, yeah. By the way, I looked because I couldn't remember. They beat Cleveland 3 times this year. I couldn't remember if it was twice or 3 times. And I mean, it's like Atlanta, right? Like that length, the size, and Aaron Nesmith just is kind of a terror for them. But DeAndre Hunter maybe changes the equation a little bit, and we'll see now that he's like fully integrated. But I got it circled.
It's going to be a fun series.
Cleveland, Indy, I mean, we should maybe go out, right? We could just road trip back and forth between Indiana and Cleveland. That drive is kind of,
Y'all got it.
That's what people always say. That drive between Cleveland and Indiana.
That's the one. Yeah.
People always talk about. I can't get people to stop talking about.
Make a stop in Dayton, Skyline Chili.
Nope.
The Pacers since the All-Star break are 8th in defense.
Yep.
And
what's their offense?
Cavs,
they've been top 10.
They've been top 10 in offense and defense.
And, right.
All-Star break.
Yeah. The Cavs are 14th in defense since the All-Star break.
A little bit of slippage there for sure. And like the Cavs, they have 2 of the best 5-man lineups in the NBA post All-Star break. Like the Nesmith lineup, the Matherin lineup. They have so many options, man. I really like this Pacers team.
Yeah. Tim in the chat, he knows what's up. It's one of those drives where you do not have to turn. It's just a straight shot. There's not much in the middle.
It's actually very similar to Toronto to Cleveland. I did a road trip once for that. It's basically just a straight drive.
Shout out to y'all on road trips. I fall asleep.
You don't like road trips, really?
We did them growing up. We did them growing up, but like I had to drive from Miami, Florida to Raleigh, North Carolina once, and like almost died like 3 times.
That's pretty long.
Like,
Wait,
again.
what's the how far?
595. It's like 12 hours, right? Roughly from Miami.
And the moment that I knew it was never going to be for me again was I literally was 20 minutes from my house. Like called my mom, going home for Thanksgiving. I was like, I'm almost home, etc. Flat tire. And I was like, dead broke. And I was like, I cannot call my mom to pay for this tire right now. Like, this is awful. So no. After that, I was like, I'll never do it again. I'm not a road trip.
I road trip a lot. As you guys know.
I love that.
I may road trip, hopefully we're all going to the finals. And if it's in Oklahoma City, I'm seriously debating.
How far is that
I-40
drive?
road trip. It'll take me about 19 hours of driving. But I have a lot. Number one, there's some great national parks.
He'll leave a week earlier.
I was gonna say.
You gotta watch the conference finals in the car. Yeah.
I'll record from the van, guys. I'm ready to go. That I-40 drive, there's actually a lot of cool national parks. I mean, the Grand Canyon is on that drive.
Cool.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon.
And then there's nothing between Albuquerque and OKC.
You know what though? Actually, it's Albuquerque to OKC. But if you're up in that northern New Mexico, like close to the Colorado border, as you go into Texas, that is one of the most beautiful. If you can be there at sunset, it's one of the most beautiful parts. It's like
or something.
Well, it's north of that. It's like this part of the Rockies. It's beautiful. I don't know. We live in a really beautiful country. And if we take care of it, man, we can enjoy it forever. So I loved a road trip for that reason.
Guys, yesterday was Earth Day. Like, shout out to you.
Shout out to the Earth.
Shout out to the Earth.
We salute you, Earth.
Big shout out to the Earth, man.
I wouldn't be here without her, right? Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
That's a great place to end this stream.
Shout out to Earth. Big shout out to the Earth,
y'all.
man.
to the
And
sky.
people come. Okay, this is crazy. From how I came in to now how
Yeah.
we're leaving.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah,
Love it.
this is how these streams are going to go. Okay, these are going to
Yeah.
live on YouTube. We appreciate you guys tuning in for something that you didn't know that you were going to tune into today. So we appreciate you guys hopping in every
67
Wednesday.
people right now. By the
It's
way.
great.
Shout out to
Yeah.
you guys.
Listen, it's
Appreciate
great. We'll do these streams every Wednesday at 11 Eastern. So hop in. We're just going to chat for 45 minutes to an hour and talk about the playoffs, talk about Little Caesars Pizza, talk about whatever is on our minds. And it just
Well, wait.
more loose format for you guys, because I know like we have been in your ears all year, and we really appreciate you guys so much. Like we couldn't do this without you.
Totally.
But we also wanted to give like a little bit more space to just hang out. One, we just really enjoy each other's company, and we want you guys to be able to see that. And then we want to be able to answer your questions as well. So,
Yep.
Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And you got Dave, you got something?
Yes. Hey, we will not talk about Little Caesars again unless they're sponsoring.
Unless
this
there's
stream.
a sponsorship. You're right.
That was organic. They won't come
Yeah.
up again. Don't worry. We'll be more prepared.
Different pizza.
I don't
joint.
think so.
Jets. I don't know.
Hey, thank you, Walsh. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
We also wouldn't be here without you guys. Like, I mean, this is
Totally.
obviously we launched a new thing this year, and I don't know that I've ever felt the overwhelming positive response from anything that we've done at The Athletic the way that I have this year. And that specifically the YouTube audience that we have stumbled and lucked into, because comments are just overwhelmingly positive, which is great because like we're trying to have fun and do a positive thing.
Totally.
So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out.
Leave a comment on the YouTube channel on this specific video. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this. Like the video if you enjoyed it. We'd appreciate any feedback that you have, and we will talk to you guys again. I've got a podcast tonight coming at you right after the game. So
Yes, sir.
looking forward to continue to connect with you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.